Hey guys, Figsy here, and today I'm with Joe Rad. Welcome back to the channel, Joe.
Hey, what's going on, Figsy? Well, thanks
I'm
for having
really
me back.
well, Joe. Today, me and Joe are going to be talking about the PlayStation VR, and we're going to show you guys what we believe is every variant, every single vanilla game physically available for the PlayStation VR, with an asterisk. If there's any missing, we need your guys' help. So if we don't show any games, please throw them in the comments. We'll update the description and we'll try and keep this video as accurate as possible. Saying that, there will be a full list of every single PlayStation 4 physical VR game in the comments with variants included, noted as well. Yeah, so let's get into it. Thanks for coming on and doing this, Joe. You're collecting every VR game and all the variants.
Yeah, I started out with just getting all the American games, and then all the American games, and then the PAL games, and then all the variants of those, and then the Japanese, and it just got out of control. So now I'm just kind of going for all of them. I'm at the point where I'm homing in on all of them, so I'm just gonna go for all of them. Yeah.
I'm not going for them all, but I'm at the point where I've got about 50. So between the two of us, we should have a pretty definitive list. So
yeah,
yeah,
and just to be clear, I don't have all of them. There are some I don't have. Like there are some straight up that don't have English that they're on the list for me to purchase, but they're not. You know,
I think there's one or two in my collection that you don't have as well. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah, there's definitely variants that I don't have. So you know, I'll try to say the ones I don't have, but if there are some that I don't mention or you guys know of more, I definitely want to know about them. So put them in the comments.
Let's get into it, Joe. You want to start?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I'll start with just like the demo discs. So there are 3 different demo discs that you can get that actually have like releases in cases. And they all have ESRB releases as well. They probably have PAL releases too. I'm not sure, but I have all the ESRB ones. So there's the demo disc 1, demo disc 2. See that? And the demo disc 3. And then if you bought like any of the bundles, like a lot of them would come, they come with like a little cardboard sleeve version of demo disc 2. I haven't seen any more cardboard sleeves, but there could be more out there. It wouldn't surprise me. And then it's not really a demo, but I kind of call this a demo. It's the PlayStation VR Worlds game. It's basically a tech demo for VR. This is the ESRB cover. And then there's also like a Japanese variant as well that I don't have, which is a cool cover as well.
The PAL cover is the same as the North American one.
Yeah. Yeah, the Japanese one is like light blue.
Chinese English copy of the demo number 1.
That's cool.
Which is exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the demo disc covers are the same even for the different regions. Do you want to start going into limited run stuff next?
Might as well. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I think I got the first one. Yeah, I got the first and the second one, so I'll show those. So the first limited run VR game was Pixel Gear.
Yep.
And it's got limited run VR 01 on the spine, which is a nice little touch. I like how they started the VR set again instead of continuing them on with the initial VR limited run set. It makes it a unique set. And then
I like that about that.
The title they did was To the Top. This is a platforming title. My next one's 17 and 18, Joe. So need your help for the next few.
All right, no problem. So number 3 was Race to the Sun. It's also got like a Vita release, obviously not VR, but this is a really good rhythm game. Number 4 was Neon Wall.
Nice.
Number 5 was Light Tracer. One thing that's kind of cool I want to mention is that if you like those 3 games, they're got these releases on an Asian release too. I don't know if you know about that. There's a pack. It's called the Oasis VR Fun Pack. And it comes with Light Tracer, Pixel Gear on it, those 2 games, and then also a game called Dying Reborn and Weeping Doll. And there's a Korean version of this too, a variant, but it's missing one of these games. I think it's missing Weeping Doll. Could be wrong about that, but it only has 3 games. That's kind of cool. So if you don't want to buy all the limited run games, if you want those 2 games, they're on this as well.
Is that the only way to get those other 2 games physical, apart from the Korean release?
I believe so. I don't believe Weeping Doll and Dying Reborn have any other physical releases. I think they only got released on this. So what was next? Were we on 6?
I think so.
Okay. So where is 6? Okay. So 6 was Project Lux.
I haven't even seen some of these titles before.
You know, pretty obscure stuff. A lot of puzzle games, but it's a good one. Number 7 is Prison Boss VR. Do you have this one?
No, it looks really cool.
This one's actually is really cool. It's like a sim game where you're like in a prison cell and you try to escape basically, and you craft stuff. And it's really interesting. It's got really cool graphics. It's a fun game. I highly recommend this one actually.
It sounds really fun actually.
It's unique. Number 8 was A Train Express.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it's a train sim game. And if you like any types of games like this, you'll like this one as well. Let's see. Do I have number 9? I might not have 9. So I am missing a couple of the limited run ones. I own them. They're just in the mail. They're being shipped like with other games. So I am missing Swordsman VR, Song and Smoke, Sam and Max, Tetris Effect, I believe, connected. Those 4 titles. So I'm not sure what numbers those ones fall in. So I could be missing those.
We will have them all in the description, guys, so you can find them down there.
Yeah. So I do own them. They're just when I order from them, it's always like 4 games at a time. So who knows when it'll show up.
Your 2020 order mightn't be here till next year. We all know that.
Yeah, exactly. So my original plan for this video was to wait till I had everything, but then I thought this, PSVR 3 might be out by then. So, so that was 7, 8. Do I have 9? Yeah, I have 9. So 9 was Accounting Plus.
Nice.
And so that's the limited run version. And then it also got a Best Buy release as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So that is the Best Buy cover variant.
That's still limited run. It's still got the limited run 9 on the spine.
It sure does. Yep. And it's still got the limited run logo on the back.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then number 10, they did the same thing. So they had the limited run release for Red Matter. This is a really cool game. And then they had a Best Buy cover variant as well.
Nice. Very similar covers.
Yeah. So you can see they're pretty much the same, just a little
one
different.
Just zoomed in.
I know. This one actually I feel like is harder to get now than the actual limited run one, believe it or not. So I would try to track that one down if you are interested in getting them all. 11. Yep. So 11 was Tokyo Chronos. It's like a visual novel game. Now, this has a cover alternate that was only available through Kickstarter. and it's very expensive and hard to find. So if you are after everything, there is a cover variant for this from Kickstarter. But like I said, it's pretty pricey. Don't have it yet myself. Number 12. Probably one of my favorite games. Polybius. I don't know if you've ever played this. It's absolutely incredible. It's like an arcade game. Hard to describe. Just really fast-paced arcade action, awesome graphics, really cool music, and
it's a really cool art style to it.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is one of the better games in the set for sure. Like if you just want like what games are good in the set, I would definitely get this one. Uh, 13 is Jupiter and Mars. Don't know much about this game. I've never played it. Is kind of getting pricey though. So if you're after limited run games, this is one of the ones I'd get for sure. Oh man. Probably my favorite game in the whole series. Can't say enough about the series in general. You know it. You know it. So I'm like obsessed with rhythm games. I absolutely love rhythm games in general. And I have been like really obsessed with Hatsune Miku lately. Yeah, it is what it is. You guys can leave comments about it. But yeah, it's a really great game. And this one's really fun too. There's a whole bunch of different versions. This is 14. What are you up to? What's your next one?
17.
Okay. All right. So for 15, Space Channel 5 VR, like a dancing rhythm game. I mean, yeah, again, I like rhythm games. You know, it's a dancing game. I don't want anyone to like film me playing it, but it's a good game. I enjoy it for sure. And 16 was Paper Beasts.
That's cool.
Yeah, this one is really cool. It's just got a unique art style. It's like a bunch of animals that are made out of like paper mache, and you explore. It's pretty fun. I haven't played too much of this one.
Yeah, number 17 was Republic Anniversary Edition. It's interesting. This actually comes with the standard PS4 version of the game and the PSVR version, so it's got 2 discs. Just on top of that, there is a standard PAL version of the game if you just want to pick up a cheap version of this to play. It's a really fun game. And then number 18 was Little Witch Academia VR Broom Racing. I got this just because if I ever did get a VR, it sounds like a heap of fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're broom racing.
Sounds like Quidditch.
Pretty much. Okay, so I don't have 19. That's one of the ones I don't have. Yeah, that's probably like either Swordsman or Salmon Max or something like that. So I don't have that one. The last regular numbered one that I have is 20. I have Wind and Leaves. Ooh. It's like a chill game, like a walking sim type thing where you move with the wind.
Yeah. Sounds like a flower flow type thing.
That is exactly what I would try to equate it to. It says grow a verdant forest from nothing. So you like plant grass and seeds and grow the forest and try to expand it. It's pretty cool.
Actually sounds pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I think they chose pretty good games overall. So there are a couple more that have like not normal numbered releases. So like there's this one, it's Volume.
Oh, I even got that. I didn't realize it was it didn't have a normal release, so I didn't grab it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's got a different number. It says LRP 87. Maybe it didn't get released in the normal set, or it was through a different publisher. Maybe it was a collector's edition. I'm not sure why, but
they announced it a long time ago, and I think maybe they secured it before VR, and then they decided to just hold off and do the VR version.
I don't know. It's got the VR tag, and it is limited runs. Just it's not in the regular set. And then same thing with this with Thumper. This is
That's
like
pretty
one of
expensive, isn't it?
this one is pretty expensive. So as far as I know, I don't think it got like a regular release. I think it only got released through a collector's edition. And so it's kind of hard to find just the game by itself. It's kind of expensive to get, but this is definitely one of the best games in the whole limited run games. This is a sick game, and it just got released for PSVR 2, and I've been playing it nonstop for like the last 48 hours. It's awesome. So
Nice.
even if you just want to get it to play it, this game is really cool. So the last limited run game one I want to talk about is this one. It's not part of like the regular set, but it has a VR mode. It's called Croiler Sigma something. I don't even remember. I don't even know how to say that.
It's another one that I've got. Didn't realize it had VR on it.
So it's interesting. This when they released this version through limited run, they did not have a VR mode on it, so there is no VR mode version on the disc. But if you buy the US version, you can download a VR code, like, download for it to make it work. But
That's interesting.
If you want like the actual VR mode, their Japanese copy has the actual VR like tag on it, and it has the VR support on the disc. And
so in theory, if the
English.
servers ever go down, the limited run version won't be VR anymore.
Correct. So if you just had the disc, this is the one you'd really want because it's got the VR on the disc. So it's kind of neat. And that's what everything I got for limited run. And like I said, there's a few that are missing that we'll put in the list.
Are we going on to standard releases now?
Yeah. Let's just go on to standard releases. I got my PAL stuff. I got my NTSC stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of a double up here, guys, with me and Joe showing the same games, but you'll see a PAL version and then an NTSC version as well. And there might be a little bit of disparity in the covers and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'll just start. I'll grab the first one I got. So I got Moto Racer 4.
Nice.
And I actually do believe this does have a Carver variant. I think there's like an Asian release that has a different version, perhaps.
It does. I've got the PAL version. It's completely different.
Hey, there you go. So that's a perfect example. Good one to pick to start.
Yeah. That's going to happen a bit, I think.
So this one I have is Riggs Mechanized Combat. Not sure if you get that one.
Same cover over here.
I think so too. Yeah. Driveclub VR. Excellent game. VR and driving is a good combo. Yeah, it looks pretty much the same.
What I like about this is sitting next to the other standard Driveclub. It's the red and the blue, and they look really good together on the shelf.
That is cool. You know what drives me? First off, just if you're a collector of VR, like there is no logic to which games have the little VR tag on the spine and which ones don't. And that's like the worst thing about collecting VR is literally how to put them on your shelf. So if anyone has a collection, you know what I mean, because it's like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I started looking. I'm like, oh, this is easy. It tells you which ones, and then there's some without. And then I finished pulling all mine out, and Joe later told me that some games don't even have the VR at the top, which we'll get into later.
Yep. Yeah, we'll save that for the end. All right, so next I have Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin.
Now, is there a limited version of that?
I don't know if there's a variation of this one. I think there is another Psychonauts game, but as far as I know, this is the only one with the VR tag. Yeah, same as one.
I felt like I seen it on Instagram yesterday.
It could be.
I'll have to double check, and if there is, I will include it in the description.
Hey, I want to know about everything there is, so if I don't know, I'm happy to be told. So next I have Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted.
Nice.
These games aren't that great, but they're actually really fun in VR. I don't have this one. This one's weird. Toho Kabuto Burst Battle. You get that one?
I've got all the weird ones, Joe. What are you talking about?
Oh, nice. Yeah, right. I know. You should.
It'll be the common ones that I don't have.
Exactly. You're right. The weird ones. The first ones I went. What are you talking about? All right. Farpoint.
And this is one of the games that I believe it comes with the boxed controller.
Correct. Yep.
The version I've got is not to be sold separately, so it would have come with that controller.
Yep. So there's the VR aim controller bundle. There's there's 3 of them from the US, and then there's a bunch of variants for overseas. But there's a Firewall, a Farpoint, and a Bravo team. Those are the 3 that I'm aware of, and then there's variants from other countries. All right, so this is probably, hands down one of the absolute best PSVR 1 games, Rush of Blood. I recommend everybody get this one. I don't care if it's valuable or not, or if it will be collectible or whatever. I think it's hands down like absolutely one of the best games. And the sequel's coming out soon for PSVR 2. It's called Switchback, and I am really looking forward to it. Oh yeah, baby. Star Trek Bridge Crew. Now, you're not a real nerd unless you play Star Trek Bridge Crew with your friends. Okay, you could be. You might think Dungeons and Dragons makes you nerdy, but no, you got to play Star Trek.
Look how excited the guy is playing on the back. So.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. All right, here it is, the infamous, the one that was expensive, like first.
Oh.
Job Simulator. It's still pretty pricey. I don't think it's that rare, to be honest with you, but it is quite pricey. So if you are into collecting and you want the valuable games, this is definitely one of them. Next is After the Fall. Has a free upgrade to PSVR 2. Pretty good game. That's a fun co-op game, I believe. With more than one person. Yeah, you can play quite a few people. Next is Robinson the Journey. You have this one?
No, it looks fun though. I've seen it. I just try to avoid picking up games until they're at a low price point.
I believe, as far as I know, this is one of the few games. I don't know if it's still this way, but I don't think this is backwards compatible on PS5 for some reason. I think this will only work on a PS4, I believe. So I could be wrong on that, but as far as I know, this is one of the few games that...
There's a few, like Shadow Complex is one of them from Limited Run.
This one, I believe, does not work on a PS5. Batman Arkham VR.
Nice.
Batman. What else are you going to say? Eagle Flight. It's actually a really fun
I've seen
game.
a lot of gameplay of this. It looks beautiful.
It's really fun. You just fly around and kind of use your helmet to maneuver and fly like a bird. Also, you get to eat worms and regurgitate them into... No, I'm just kidding. That would be cool, but no. All right, next is Eve Valkyrie. This is a really good game. One of the better action games.
And Pal got the same cover over here.
Cool. And next is No Man's Sky Beyond. This, I believe, will be an expensive game down the line. I think this is one of the better PS4 games. So kind of hard to find the ESRB one now. Like a new copy, there's like $100 as far as I can tell most of the time. So you can find them used for like 40 to 50, 30 if you're lucky. But
you can't play this if you just have the standard No Man's Sky?
I don't know if you can get the VR version with a standard copy. When I collect, I only go for the versions that have the VR on it. So it's possible, but I don't care. This is the one.
If you do know that,
VR
guys, let us know in the comments, because that might later down the line, if it does become an inexpensive game, that might be the road people go down.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if you could get the VR version with the regular one. but it probably doesn't have it like on the disc. Obviously, like this, I believe, has the mode on the disc. Next is Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride.
Oh, that looks so much fun.
I've
just been posting this one in the groups, and
yeah, I saw.
I
think it was a Nicolo. I can't remember. Somebody posted that they got the PAL version, and it's like rare, I guess, over there. So I don't think it's super rare over here, but that'd be pretty cool if it is. Next, the GOAT.
That's surprisingly quite expensive too. At least the PAL version is.
This was one that I kept waiting on for a price drop because I figured it must have a price drop, and it kind of never did. I think I ended up paying $40 for my copy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're looking at least $40 over here for a copy.
I think I paid $40 for this, and it was actually one of the last ESRB games I needed on my list. I remember when people were like, "Which games do you need?" I'm like, Minecraft. They're like, why? I don't know. I just haven't bought it because I thought it would. It feels like I should be able to get Minecraft for $10, but no. Next is Moss.
Oh, brilliant!
Awesome game. And I think it's getting a little pricey. I haven't checked in a while, but I
PAL region it's become really cheap. So apparently it's been reprinted over here.
Oh, okay, good. Then it's amazing.
Copies have been found or something, but yeah, it's now a cheap game. You can get it for under $50.
Oh, that's good. You know, one of the better titles for sure. It's like an action adventure game. It's really cute, and I like it because it uses VR in a creative way. Like VR doesn't always have to be first person. Like I don't know why. Like it doesn't always have to be first person. You can do it like different perspectives, and I think this game does a good job doing that.
So that's a really good point because, like, imagine playing an RPG in third person.
Yes, I want.
That would be great, right?
I want exactly what you said. I want an RPG. I want to play a pixel. I want to play Octopath Traveler in VR, dude, and like be in like 2D. Oh man, I think that would be so cool.
If there's any developers watching, hint.
Hey, I'm telling you, put VR mode. It's not hard to put some of. You don't have to make it a first-person thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Just add a cool VR mode. Zone of the Enders. Very cool game.
There is a slipcover for this as well. I don't know if America got it, but PAL has a slipcover, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think I've seen the Japanese version. It's like all black, too, right? I know that there's a Japanese variant of this with like a different name, I believe, but could be the slipcover has that as well. Next is Ghost Giant.
Nice,
really fun game. It's a cute story-driven game. Next is the Wizards Enhanced Edition.
That looks cool. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
I buy games based on the artwork.
Next is Astrobot Rescue Mission. Do you have this one?
I don't. I thought I did, but of course I've got it on my PS5 because it comes with every PS5.
Yeah, this is in my opinion, like a must-play like VR game. It's really, really good.
Is there any difference between the regular game and the VR version?
I've never played the regular game, so I'm not honestly sure, to be honest. Next is Golem.
Nice. Another one I've never seen before.
That's a cool game. It's actually really good. Next is Everybody's Golf VR.
Our cover's the same over here.
So this is my PlayStation bundle was a thing that came with a code for this, and I ended up buying the game again just to have it.
I love Everybody's Golf, so I had to pick this one up.
Me too. I like Hot Shots Golf a lot too. I like golf games in general. We can talk about that. I have every Tiger Woods for PS3. Like I'm like really into golf games. All right, next is Creed Rise to Glory. Awesome game. Next is Sirento.
Nice.
Really cool action game. And this works with the rudder, I believe. I don't know if you've ever seen the 3D rudder thing you can stand on and walk around.
I can't say I have. Oh yeah, no, I have. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen the guy with a gun walking around in circles on it.
So that's like the full-on one where you like stand in it and like strap in and everything. The 3D rudder's like, it's like a pogo ball, if you ever know what that is. It's like this little thing you just put on your feet and you just kind of like angle your feet. You don't actually move around. Cool. And you can like kind of walk. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I have one, but I'm never opening it because it's, in my opinion, going to be insanely rare and valuable someday. So I just can't bring myself to open it.
Understandable.
If you want to get one, you can get one for like $100, $150 right now. And I just know that like down the line it'll be such a hipster thing to have. So I just want it sealed and nice, and yeah, you know how it goes. All right, so do these. All right, so next I have Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. It's Puzzle Bobble in 3D. Pretty self-explanatory. These games are awesome. But I did want to show another version. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, so it got a regular ESRB release, and then it got a strictly limited run as well.
Nice.
So if you want to see the differences in the covers, one's blue, one's more yellow. The English version says VR mode included. Strictly limited says compatible or whatever.
The strictly limited version released first?
Yes. Yep. And cool. of course. And then it's kind of cool though. They have different colored spines too. So they look really nice on the shelf next to each other. Yeah, that looks
cool. I like that.
And for once, I got a really low number. I got 89 out of 2,000 for this one. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I never get a low number. That's kind of neat. Next is Werewolves Within. Loading Human, Chapter 1. Just kind of got to go through these. So the video is in 5 hours. Starblood Arena.
Oh, I do have that one.
You have Starblood?
Oh, I think it. Show your cover again. Is it different?
It is different.
Oh, sweet. There we go. Variants, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Your text is way bigger. Yours is like
the yellow is more yellow over here.
Wow. Dang it. You want to sell me your copy?
That's a very, very slight cover variant. I like that.
Yeah, so there's a couple like that. Japan has a few versions like that are like slightly different like that. Next is a Wipeout.
Oh, one I forgot to grab.
So yours might not have the label on it. Yours might not have the VR mode on it.
Yeah, I'll just grab it to show people.
The ESRB one does, and yeah, I don't think the whole game is in VR. I might be wrong, but it's pretty cool. Wipeout's awesome in general.
It doesn't even say VR compatible on it, but yeah, that's the PAL version.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think that one has it. So next I have Home Sweet Home.
One I do have, thankfully.
Definitely one to pick up if you're into collecting in general. I just think this is going to be extremely valuable.
It's already pretty expensive, so
for lots of reasons. Yeah, it's a horror game. It's a PSVR game, and it's a good game. So you combine all those three things, and I have a feeling this thing will be expensive. Now, what's really annoying about this, I just want to point this out, though, is the whole game isn't on this disc. Like, it has, like, the first, like, episode and a half or 2 episodes or something. And if you actually want to finish this game, you do have to download the rest of the game, which I don't even know if it ever got released. I'm not even sure, but the whole game is not on the disc, just so you know.
It's sad that happens so often these days.
Oh man, it's so frustrating. Okay. Next is Quar Infernal Machines.
Ooh. Are they penguins on the front?
Yes. Question mark. I mean, you
That's
tell
awesome.
me. Is it a penguin? I'm not quite sure. I haven't played it. It looks like a little like RTS war sim. Kind of looks interesting, to be honest with you. All right, next, more horror. Don't Knock Twice. Oh, God damn. We have to start over. I have to get a priest in my house.
That wasn't me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Someone just opens the door behind you.
Bro, last thing I need is ghosts. All right, so next, it's kind of cool, is the Persistence.
Ooh.
And it actually has a cover variant in the US, in the RCB.
That's
cover
cool.
variant. So if you want to see them both.
I like how at the top it says game and then the other one says mode included.
Mm-hmm. I believe one of them has updated content. I don't know which one. But yeah. Next is Firewall 0 Hour. Also came with the bundle. So mine is the not for resale copy, like you said. Same thing. I actually have this bundle, that's why.
A lot of these games I see, but I don't want to pick them up until they're like $5 or $10 because you know a lot of them will be eventually.
Oh yeah. So I'd say like right now, it's very affordable to collect a lot of these games. There's only a couple right now that are expensive, and I'm trying to point out like all those to you guys if you want to try to get those first. I'm trying to point those ones out. Next is The Invisible Hours. It's like a mystery game, I believe. Next is Res Infinite.
That one's cool. Has that got a red spine?
It has an orange spine.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It's like in a sleeve. It's like in an orange sleeve. This also has a cover variant as well. This is actually the second release through IM 8-bit, I believe. Yeah, this is IM 8-bit. There is a previous release they had that is like all black. Does not have any of this orange on it. Pretty expensive. It's going for like $60 to $100, like sealed. Used probably like 50 to 60, so you're not saving much. But yeah, still after that one.
I'm quite a fan of IM 8-bit. They make some nice stuff.
I think their releases are really high quality, and
then they don't overdo it. They don't, they're not putting out 6 games a month.
No, exactly. And they were nice. So they just, they sent out that Stray limited edition, and the sleeve was too small. And they just said, hey, if you got that problem, let us know, and they'll send you a new one. And they just sent me a new sleeve, and it looks cool.
That's really
I got them both. Yeah, they look awesome. So and a company that does that, cool company. Okay. Next is Ark Park.
One that's becoming quite expensive, actually.
It fluctuates quite a bit. I've seen it for a while. It was really expensive. Like you could only get a copy for like $100 used, even for a while.
Over here, it's $100 plus. Actually, one just sold for $120. So it's
I've seen the ESRB used copies selling like $450 to $60 lately, but that's temporary. I have a feeling this will be very expensive again. It also has a cover variant that's like all dark green that got released in Japan, and there is an Asian English version of that.
That came out first, didn't it? It came out like a year or two before that. I remember that one.
It might have. I have that in the mail, and then it also has a Japanese version with that cover that is a deluxe edition. So if you do want that cover variant with the deluxe edition with the green cover, that one only got released in Japan. I have no idea if it has English, but that's the ESRB.
I remember having it in my watch list on eBay for a year, and then a local release came, so I'm like, oh, removed from watch lists. Still don't own the game.
So here's another one that's pretty expensive.
Thankfully got that one.
Mega Dimension Neptunia VIIR. Nice. Yeah, this one, you know, it's an RPG. It's a Mega Dimension Neptunia game. These are just
there is a standard
games, anyway.
version of this?
Yep, there is just a regular one that doesn't have the R. It's just Mega Dimension Neptunia 7, I believe. VII. This is the R version if you want the VR mode included on the disc. And yeah, I would grab that one. Next, Paranormal Activity, A Lost Soul. More horror. This is actually a pretty damn scary game. So highly recommend it if you like horror games in general. It's really fun. I don't know. Like I said, I think buying horror games is just a good idea. Let's just put it that way. I don't think any of them are going to tank in value. Let's put it that way.
Same as JRPGs, like the last game you showed.
Yes, it's just shmups, JRPGs, and horror games just seem to hold value.
And weird adventure games.
Dude, that's literally that's my whole collection of shmups, horror games, RPGs, and weird adventure and FMVs and stuff. Like I love all that stuff. All right, next is Iron Man VR.
Iron Man.
Not rare, not expensive, damn fun.
Mass overproduced. Every retailer's got plenty of copies.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever be worth a lot of money, but really good game, super fun. If you get motion sickness, yeah, this will be fine. Just try it. Alrighty, so Deracine.
That's from Software?
This is from Software. It is based in the Bloodborne universe. It's in the same Bloodborne universe as Bloodborne. And got an American release. I don't think it got a PAL release. It did get a Japanese release, too. And I believe the Japanese release does have some sort of cover variant, like says like super cool edition or something. It has some sort of like limited or deluxe or something like that. But there is a difference to the Japanese release. No idea if it has English though. So, but you know, if you want, you know, I think this one will be sought after in the future, just because it's from Software. You know how that goes. All right, next is Deemo Reborn. So this one's kind of interesting because it has like an ESRB rating, but I don't believe it got released in the United States or on the West. I think it only got released in Asia. So like on the back, it's got, you know, your like normal like language stuff that you would find.
Oh yeah, that looks really Asian. Wow.
Yeah, so I believe it's an Asian region.
What's the move your finger? What's the number on the region code? Is it 1?
3?
Oh, it's 3.
Nope.
Okay, wow. Maybe it was a Play Asia thing, and they did.
Could be
the ESRB rating,
but it
that's
does have
really
ESRB.
interesting.
And then there, so that's what this cover looks like. There is a cover variant, I believe, that exists for this. Never seen it on eBay ever. I've been looking for like 2 years. So if anybody sees it, just let me know and don't buy it. Thank you. That'd be great. I'm sure. Bravo Team is next. Fun game.
Another standard run-of-the-mill title.
Yeah. Co-op shooter. You'll find it cheap if you're after it. VR Carts.
Oh, another one that's expensive.
Kick-ass. Fun game. Pretty self-explanatory. Kart racer. VR. I think this is a PAL release too. I'm not sure.
It does. The Australian version I've been trying to find for a couple of years now, and without luck. I don't want to pay eBay prices. So
I do believe I paid up for this. This was one of those ones where, like, you know how it is. You watch it, and then after a while, it starts to go up, and you go, okay, that's enough of that. I'm just gonna get it because
the fear of missing out.
Yeah, and then that's how you end up paying $60 for this game.
Ooh,
and much cheaper now. Yeah. So for a while, this was like really impossible to find. It got like a release in the stores and it was gone. And it was just, you couldn't get it anywhere. And so like I paid, I think like $60 for this. So you don't win them all. But now it's like
now you
readily
can get
available.
Disaster Report 4 for a good price. It sounds like a really fun game, actually.
It's a really good game. The VR mode is lame. Just so you know, like, so a lot of these games, just so you know, like the whole game is not in VR. What it is like there's a game and then there's a VR mode where there's a mission or there's like a couple things you can do in VR or there's some certain things you can do. And this game is one of them. So, you know, if you're looking for an awesome VR experience, that's not what I get this game. It's just a good game. Other than that, like they're always been good. These are fun games.
I think if you're a fan of the game and you want to get the most of it,
yeah,
it's got a VR mode that you can play a little bit more of it too.
Exactly. And it is fun and it's cool. Just run around and stuff trying to fall on your head. Next is Rick and Morty Virtual Reality.
I don't know about over in America, but this one's quite hard to find over here, the Australian copy, and it's not a cheap game. So
I haven't looked. I got my copy, like this was like one of the first games I got for my VR because I'm an immature person and I like Rick and Morty. So sorry. I know like half of you like lost through all respect for me. But, it is what it is. Okay, so this one is Penn and Teller.
Ooh. Did you draw on the front cover?
Unfair. I did actually. No, that's just how it comes. And I just have a feeling that this will be collectible and rare someday. Because who the hell would buy this?
It looks weird. Yeah, you're right. Like it's something I'd pick up and put it on the shelf.
For like, who's like, you know what I want to do is put on a VR helmet and watch magic tricks. I just don't. It's just so odd of a thing. I bet it's great. I bet it's fun. I like Penn and Teller, but I just don't see this having a mass appeal. So I just have a feeling that down the road this will be.
It could also be on the dollar bargain shelf and people still don't buy it. So
yep.
I can see that road for it.
You never, you know, you can never predict. But either way, keeping my copy sealed just in case, because I also don't want to play it. Next is Budget Cuts.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty cool game. I don't know if you can hear my cat. Seems like he wants to join the thing. Next, I have Ace Combat 7.
One that still holds up in price. It's still like a $30, $40 game.
Kick-ass game. Another one where like it's just got a few VR missions. You can't play like the whole game in VR, but the VR missions are excellent. They're really fun. Same as this game. So this was one of the reasons like I wanted a VR to begin with. This game, Battlefront, has like one VR mission that you could do. And it's awesome. It was super fun. And literally it's one of the reasons I got a VR, because you could do an X-Wing VR mission thing.
I really enjoyed the game too. I think I got to level 50 in the game, grinded through it.
Yeah, it's a great game. And then there are probably cover variants for this. I'm sure there are other variants. I don't know if they all say VR like that. But
yeah, I grabbed mine, but it didn't have VR, so I didn't bring it out to show.
So I'm sure there are collector's editions, deluxe editions, all this
game of the year edition. Yeah,
yeah, this was a huge game. And also, just so you know, there's some store online that makes custom covers for the VR mission and sells them. So if you go on eBay, there are like 4 cover variants for the VR mission for this, and they're not legit. Some guy, like some store, makes them, just so you know. Yeah. So I don't have those, but if you ever see them or want them, they're out there. They're kind of cool. Next is Tetris Effect.
So this one has a limited run release as well?
Yes. So there is the regular version, the limited run version, and then they released Tetris Effect Connected, which is like a newer version that also is through limited run, which I don't have. And I think there might even be a retail version of Tetris Effect Connected that does not say limited run, but I believe like literally only difference is like on the cover here it says limited run and one of the other ones doesn't. I believe that's the only difference.
And the price tag, of course.
Of course. Excuse me, Mr. Cat.
It's limited. Put a 0 on the end.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so this next one was actually a huge pain in the butt to track down. It's called Radial G. Racing Revolved. I don't know how hard it is to find in other regions, but the ESRB copy of this was extremely hard to find sealed. And I don't know how expensive it is, but it wasn't cheap either. And it's more one of those games where like it was more hard just to find it than to pay for it. Like when I finally found it, it wasn't that expensive, but it just wasn't available.
It's a rare game.
Long time. It's
not
just
expensive. It's a rare game.
Exactly. The ESRB one, and even my copy has a little tear in the seal right there. But you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm not cool with it, but that's okay. Next is Star Wars Squadrons.
One that's certainly dropped in price. You can get this one really cheap now.
Yep. And this is basically because of that other Battlefront mission. This is like a full game version of X-Wing. It's really good. If you do get motion sickness in all seriousness, this is the worst game you could ever possibly play because you're in like full 360 flying through space, going in all directions. And it is...
I'll pass.
It is like if you want to like
just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's pretty like disorienting at first. Okay, next is this is PAL. Get out of here. Get out of here. Blood and Truth.
Yeah, PAL copy's the same.
Yep. One of the best games on VR. Can't recommend it enough. Absolutely incredible. It has a cover variant through Japan that I don't have yet, but it's in the mail, and it's awesome. It's got like all purple text and everything, but I don't even know if it has English. So if you want the English one, obviously, Blood and Truth.
Really cheap game to pick up. So,
yep, and it's really, really good. Next is Angry Birds Under Pressure. Yep, it's Angry Birds. Next is Vader Immortal.
Ooh, that has a PAL release too.
Yeah,
and it was sold through a certain website, I believe.
I don't remember where I bought this, but I do remember it was like only once, like maybe it was like a Best Buy exclusive or something like that. I can't remember.
I've been on the website for the PAL version before. I'll have to leave it in the description.
Gotcha. It's awesome though. Really, really awesome. Okay. All right. He won't leave me alone, so he's joining the show. Sorry about that. All right. Next, Concrete Genie.
Another really, really cheap game.
It's a really good game too. Next is The Inpatient. Really good game. It's a horror game, so I would pick it up. And in case you didn't know, this is a spin-off of the Until Dawn game.
Oh, okay.
So if you've played Until Dawn, the creepy abandoned insane asylum hospital or whatever, this takes place in that hospital. That's what this is. It's a pretty cool game. Okay. So these next three, I'll talk about together. So we got Doom VFR. Really cool game. That's Doom 3 you got.
I know I haven't got that one, so
I'll right.
grab this one.
Oh, that's okay. We'll do that one. So Doom 3 is, Doom 3 with the VR mode. It's actually, this is insanely cheap. Like it was like selling for like $5 for a while.
So that was retailed at half price. Like brand new, it was half price, which I thought was weird.
This is just insanely cheap, and I think it's great. I like Doom 3, and it's scary as hell in VR. Doom VFR is like its own game. It's not Doom 2016. It's its own game, just so you know. And you know, the controls are a little janky, but it is really fun. And then Wolfenstein Cyberpilot.
Oh, I was not expecting you to pull that one out. So
that
got something to do with the Doom universe?
So it's all made through the ID software people. It's the same company. So Wolfenstein made Doom, and they also made
Bethesda.
Quake. But yeah, well, it's Bethesda now, but this was back in the day all ID soft. So the reason that I bring them out together is because they also got these double pack releases. So in Germany, they got this Doom VFR, Doom 3 double pack.
That's cool.
And you know, it has the German VR logo on it. And then they also released one for Doom and Wolfenstein.
That's cool as well. There's so many different Wolfenstein packs when you start to dig.
You know, it's insane. Now, just on a side note, not VR, but they also have a Doom 2016 and Quake combo, I found out.
Ooh.
And it was insanely cheap. And that drove me crazy because we only got Quake as a limited run release, as a single release for like $40. And that combo pack was 15 euros. I was like 15 euros for Quake and Doom.
But you're buying a game from the 90s, so it should be cheap, you know.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's, you know, but whatever. So anyway, yeah, these are pretty cool. And what's actually neat is this showed up like today. So that's cool.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. All right, so next is Gungrave VR, loaded Coffin edition.
I like the different colors when you move it around.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful case, and it does have a cover variant in Japan. They have theirs is called, so this is called the loaded Coffin edition. Theirs is called something else. It's like another deluxe edition type thing, but it's got a slightly different cover in Japan. Next is Heavy Fire Red Shadow. The GOAT. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. I don't know. I don't care. I'll play Skyrim again. And if PSVR 2 releases it, I'll buy it for the 35th time and play it again. I will. I don't care.
Only 35?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, so next is The American Dream.
That cover art is hilarious. I'm just going to go full screen on you for a second.
Yeah, sure. So it's a family barbecue in America. You know, family and the kids and the dogs with a few loaded weapons. So basically, it's like a parody of American culture, and like everything is guns. Like, you know, you like cook hamburgers with guns, and you like go on a date and you shoot stuff with your girlfriend.
How did that get approved?
So originally it was made in Europe, and that's why it was probably approved. So because they're allowed to make fun of us, and then
these Americans are like, "Hey, I want that game."
So it only had a PAL release for like a really long time. I actually have the PAL copy, and then it got put out by limited run actually, but it's not a numbered release. It only got released like I think in a retails, but if you do look, it does say limited run.
Yep. So
it is considered, I guess it would be a limited run VR game, technically.
One of limited runs retail releases. I hate those.
Yeah, I'm not.
You buy them thinking that they're normal limited run games and they don't have the things on the spine, but they're the same price.
Yeah. And then well. Anyway, next we have Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah, and I've actually got one to show here. So
Yeah.
we've got the standard version, and then we've got a cover variant for the day one edition. So it's got the black cover.
That's awesome.
It's got so the PAL version have Mount Panorama, which is a famous racetrack in Australia. It's a famous mountain.
Oh man, I didn't even notice that. Now I got to get all. Oh god.
Now you got 2 more copies to pick up.
Yeah, well, you got to get this one, pal. Come on.
Greatest hits, sorry.
You don't taint your collection with greatest hits. So I over the years have been mistakenly sent 6 greatest hit games. So I have 6 of them, and I decided if you can't beat them, join them. So I'm just collecting them now. I was gonna get them all because I already have 6 of them. So why not? Let's just keep going.
They're forcing you onto it.
I, get sent them whether I like them or not. So I know I can't sell them. So, all right. So next I have Smash Hit Plunder.
Ooh, that's interesting.
This one I've seen fluctuate in price. Sometimes it's cheap, sometimes it's not available, and it's really expensive. But if you're patient, I think you could still find this for pretty cheap. Smash Hit Plunder. Next is Mars Odyssey.
That looks cool. Do you control the Mars robot? Is that the premise of the game?
Pretty much, yeah. You can control the land rover, land on the planet, walk the surface of Mars. Yeah. Go to Mars. Matt Damon style. And next is Operation Warcade.
That looks like a PS2 shovelware type.
It's like, yeah, pretty much. It's exactly
Phoenix Games.
It's exactly what it is. So I hope it'll probably be worth a ton because it's like crappy and nobody wants it. Next is ATV Definitive Tricks. And
That one looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very similar to that Moto Racing 4 game.
Funny you say that. I'm a huge Motor Racer fan from the PS1 days. Grew up on Motor Racer.
I love racing games. I know people like to knock them, but I'm a huge fan. Next is VR Ping Pong Pro.
Ooh, I've seen gameplay of this one. It looks interesting.
There are 2 ping pong games for VR. I think this is the better one, personally. I like this one. Okay, so next is Persona 3 Dancing All Night. Persona 5 Dancing All Night.
I'm pretty sure these covers are the same.
I think they are indeed the same.
Thankfully for your wallet.
Yeah, but there is a variant combo pack that comes with both games in a cardboard sleeve. And it also comes with a digital download code of Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
It's very expensive. I don't know about the American one, but I still haven't found it over here.
You're going to be, so if you want a sealed copy with a code, probably $60 to $100 at least.
You're looking at well over $100 for an Australian copy.
So I did a lot of research and looked through Australian. You guys have it rough. That's all I'm going to say. Like, if you want the Australian versions of games, it seems to always be the most expensive version.
Just more collectors here than copies that got released. If you didn't pre-order it, good luck.
And I just feel like there's just obviously not as many. All right. So next is Hitman 3. And then Hitman 3, the Deluxe Edition.
Ooh, very nice.
What's really cool about these games is if you buy them and you already own Hitman 1 and Hitman 2, you can play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 in VR as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just got a quick question. The PS5 version, does it have VR on the spine as well?
Nope. You have to
play the PS5 version in VR.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's interesting. That means that
I might be wrong.
Theory, the PS4 version would be the one to pick up. Then
I believe if you want VR, you want these ones. Yeah. I don't think the PS5 version has VR, but I could be wrong.
And then that's backwards compatible on the PS5 as well. So,
correct. Yep, and you can use a PSVR on a PS5. You just have to get an adapter for your camera, so you can do that. And if you haven't already and you own a PS5, you can get one for free from Sony, by the way. If you contact them, they'll mail you one for free. You don't have to buy one.
You have to prove you purchased a VR, though. You can't buy a second-hand one. Like I got a box, and I tried to get one. They didn't give me one.
Really? I think I just had to give my serial numbers for my PS5 and my VR. But I don't know. They didn't give me any headaches. Next is Apex Construct. I have no idea what this game is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Merciless robots are plowing the world as a result of mankind's reckless experiments.
I wonder if it's the same type of robots from Apex Legends.
You're yeah. Must both use your wits in combat. Well, I'm screwed. I got no wits. Out of there. All right. So next we have Killing Floor double feature. Very cool.
Now, is there a cover variant for this, or is it one that isn't in VR? I thought it was a second one.
So I believe this is the Killing Floor double feature that has Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor Incursion. I believe there is just a Killing Floor 2 that does not have this VR version included.
I knew there was a second one. That makes sense.
I think that version is more expensive than this one, strangely enough. I think that the regular Killing Floor one, I believe, is more than this one because I've seen it before and it's usually pretty pricey. So next, Trover Saves the Universe.
That's hilarious from the Rick and Morty universe?
Yep. Well, it's the same people who made it. It's not in the same universe, but it you know, everything they make is exactly the damn same. So yeah, it is. All right. So next we got, well, I'll just do the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Complete Edition.
Very nice.
I think this is the only version. I think there only is the Complete Edition. I don't think there's a vanilla release of this, but I could be wrong. So if there is another version, please let me know. There is then Walking Dead Onslaught. This is the regular version. And then there is the Deluxe Edition variant. This one's actually more common, I feel, to find. Most stores are still selling the Deluxe Edition. This one is not expensive, but it's a little harder to find, I think. In good condition, especially new. It also got a Steelbook release.
Only PAL?
Only PAL. So next I have Resident Evil Biohazard. It's got a lot of versions. So your cover variant, your cover is different.
Yeah, it is. You're gonna have to pick up the PAL version. You can see the house more clear on this.
Yep. I am gonna have to get that one. There are so many versions of this, dude. It's insane. So then there's that one, and then there's a greatest hits version. So as far as I know, the only VR labeled greatest hits versions are Resident Evil and the Gran Turismo, in case you care. And then
to become greatest hits, it needs to sell 250,000 copies. So it makes sense.
Well, I think this is pretty much like one of the definitive games for it. So I'm sure this sold like hotcakes. All right. So then it also got the Gold Edition.
Ooh.
This comes with a download code for all the DLC.
Don't we love that?
Oh, yeah. And then this one came with, this is the Deluxe Edition. And it came with like pre-order content, I believe. Says that includes the full game and a season pass voucher that gives you. So that's all. It didn't. It's the same as the Gold Edition. It was just the pre-release version, pre-order version or whatever. And then it also got a Steelbook release too, with the sleeve. So the actual Steelbook does not say VR, but the sleeve does.
So again, the PS5 version and the PS5 Steelbook won't be in VR.
I don't even know if they have a PS5 version of 7, do they? I know they have Village.
Oh, I might be thinking of Village. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of Village. So many different games to keep up with.
So the Village has a VR2 support now. I don't know if it will have VR1. Maybe it will. But like my PS4 copy of Village, I was able to upgrade to the PS5 for free and download the VR for free. So I'm playing it on VR too.
Nice.
So I guess you could include that in VR too.
But you'll see that video in a few years.
Yeah. And that's all of my American like ESRB games that have anyway.
I've got a couple here, so I'm wondering if these are PAL exclusives or if you don't have them.
They're probably PAL. There's tons of PAL exclusives. Okay. I will say, there is a box VR like ESRB game, and I don't have that. So I have the PAL one, but I don't have the NTSC one. So that's one of the ones that I don't have. So there is a box VR game that I don't have. Yeah. So I think that's all the American games. All the ESRB games. So
if you want to grab your power games, I just need to let my dog out. It'll be 10 seconds.
Sure thing. All right. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to move some stuff around.
If you've made it this far in the video, appreciate your patience. And thanks again for Joe for coming on and making this video. A lot of people have been asking in the groups about PSVR set lists. So what better time than with the release of the PSVR 2 to get this video out for you guys and all this information out there. It's like you need a table to the left and the right of you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you if you were talking to me.
No, yeah, I was just talking to the viewers. I was thanking you for coming on.
Oh, thanks, yeah, man. I'm so into this, so I love doing this. All right. So let's do some PAL stuff. So PAL is really interesting, actually, for collecting. Because there's all these languages you guys have over there. So
especially in Europe, like when you say PAL,
I mean Europe specifically.
PAL,
yeah, I'm sorry. I mean Peggy PAL, Europe stuff. Now, like, so when I went for my PAL games, I went for all the ones that have the VR tag that say it in English, like required. So you got to be careful.
The UK version.
Yeah. So like, for instance, here's Ping Pong VR. And it says PlayStation VR required.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was first buying games and not paying attention, there are
the German or the Spanish or
French ones, for example. Yeah. So I got stuck with this one. It says, you know, PlayStation VR required, Ping Pong VR, chocolate
probably play in English, but it's just got the cover. Yeah.
Correct. So I'm sure it's totally fine if you don't care about such things, but you do want to be careful because some of them say required, some of them say requis, some of them say recuerdo.
Funny you mentioned that. When I first started importing PAL exclusives, I made that mistake and had Italian kids games in my collection that had the name in Italian, and it annoyed me and I had to rebuy them.
Yeah. Yep. Just, you know, you learn. So like, I didn't even, it's funny because I was shopping for other games and that's when I noticed and I went, do I have any games that are in, and then I went, damn it, I do have one of these, you know, so then I had to replace it.
I love it. Snuck through the cracks.
So, you know, if you're obsessed with little details, which that's collectors, you should be, that's just something to keep an eye out for. So that's one of them. How about Quiver?
Ooh,
it's a bow game. This is an awesome game. So PAL got a lot of exclusives, just so you know. There are lots of games that did not get released in the West, and this is one of the better ones. I highly recommend this one.
Sorry, Jay, you're gonna have to excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll keep going. All right, so the next game that I got here is Space Junkies. Yeah, VR arcade shooter. Strap in your jetpack, fly around, and shoot people in the face. Good stuff. Okay, the next one is Windlands 2.
That one looks cool.
Really chill game. Armed with grappling hooks and a bow, you soar through the ruins of the world. So you fly around a grappling hook, shoot stuff with the bow. Yeah, will this look really cool? Probably pretty rare in the future. All right, so this next one did get a release in the US, but it does not have the VR tag on it. Only, I believe the PAL region does. So there's Trackmania Turbo, and it does have the PlayStation VR logo on it. You can get the American version if you want and download the VR still, but it does not say that on there. So I'll show you that later. But that's one of the PAL ones. Next is Doctor Who, The Edge of Time. It's kind of a point-and-click adventure type game based in the Doctor Who universe. Really fun game if you are into that sort of thing. I do love adventure games, so I'm a huge fan of that. Next, we have Downward Spiral Horus Station. It is an atmospheric zero-gravity thriller. So almost a horror game, but not quite, if you know what I mean. Next is Synth Riders. This is an excellent rhythm game. I really like it. If you like Beat Saber or other games of that nature, I recommend it. It's got a lot of tracks from Muse, if you like the band Muse. And it also just got recently announced as a remastered version for PS5 and PSVR 2, if you want to pick it up on that instead. But this is a really good game.
Sorry, the wind was opening and closing doors. And I'm home alone, so you know what.
You're like, well, I'm going to make sure that's the wind. Coming in the back, stealing your games. It's Will. I'm just kidding. Groundhog Day.
Like you showed this one
like
before.
I think I've shown this one. No, I'm just kidding. I get what you're going. It's a point-and-click adventure game. Pretty fun. You know, lots of games.
Is it based off the movie or anything?
It says follow the misadventures of Phil's son Phil Jr. as he locked in a time loop to us. Yeah, I mean it is based off the same thing, but I don't think like Bill Murray's in it or anything like that.
Still really cool.
Yeah, it's the same premise where you're locked in a time loop. Yeah. All right, so this one is called Battle Wake. It is like a pirate game. And you can like also like do magic, I think, or something like that. But this was actually super hard to find for me. I have seen some more copies of it recently, but like this was one of those games that like it was available for sale everywhere, and then the second it was sold out, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was getting really worried that I wouldn't be able to find a copy. And this copy that I actually got, someone like listed it as something else. Like it was like Battle Chess or something like that. But this was what was pictured. And so I messaged the guy. I'm like, is it Battle Wake or Battle? And he's like, no, it's Battle Wake. And I'm like, great. And I got this for like $20. So
oh, that's a win.
Pretty good steal. Like I said, I don't think it's super rare. It's probably pretty common over in Europe, but in the United States it didn't get released, and it was a huge pain in the ass to find. So I don't know if you're into looking for stuff, I'd get that one. Probably just the finest game ever made.
Drunken bar fight.
I mean, self-explanatory. I think what this game is, you get drunk and you punch people in the bar. There's no winners, there's no losers, but everybody has fun. Next is Theseus. kind of like a third-person hero action adventure game. Looks pretty good, actually. Never played it, but it actually looks pretty kick-ass.
Most of these games you're showing aren't just exclusives to PAL. They don't have Australian releases as well. So to me, they're PAL exclusives, being like European exclusive.
Yes, most of these are European exclusives. So I'm a dirty American, so PAL is like anywhere that's not the United States, and Japan and Asia. I guess that's their own thing. Track Lab, pretty cool. It's like a DJ game, and I believe you can actually make music with this.
Nice,
write your own music and stuff like that. I don't think any of this is in English on the back.
It looks like a multi-region release, that one.
Yeah, I mean, it says it's like none of it's in English on the back. So I don't know. Maybe there's another version that has regular English. I don't know. So if you guys know anything more about Track Lab, or is this the only version, you let me know. But nothing on the back is in English.
Possible that it has a UK release, so we'll have to ask someone who knows.
Yeah, it might have a UK release. Next is the Assembly Perfect VR Double Pack.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Assembly is a game, and Perfect is not. So I downloaded Perfect, and Perfect is like you literally like just sit around in this like chill place, and you can like meditate. I don't know, dudes. But Perfect, Assembly is a game.
Game out there for everyone, right?
Yeah. So, I would just be honest. I regret opening this. I wish I just kept this damn thing sealed because it was not worth it. Next, Headmaster.
That looks good.
Extra Time Edition. So I'll just mention it now.
Game?
Yes. So it's a football soccer game, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of it is you hitting balls with your head in the helmet.
Oh, okay.
And
really VR.
Like yes. Yep. It's really fun though. It's a great game. Now, just one thing I just want to mention real quick. So Perp Games, the Perp Games store, they had a ton of games that they released that had a signed version. And so I don't have any, but just so you know, if you're into collecting VR, there are signed copies of Headmaster. There are signed copies of Battle Wake. There are signed copies of Ninja Legends, signed copies of Time Carnage. There are all of these special releases they had through the store only that you could only buy through them. And they were all gone by the time I even started collecting. Like, it was already not a thing. So there are cooler versions of these that have signatures on them. And if you're really lucky, they have like this giant box that you could buy with all of them in it. And I have no idea how much that thing cost. It must have been a fortune brand new back then. And I can't imagine how much it's worth now. I've never seen it on eBay. So there's like one guy on YouTube that has a video that has one. That's the only time I've ever seen it. So just so you know, I'm not unaware. I just don't have them. Next, Fruit Ninja VR.
I love this on the iOS app.
This game's fun. It's cheap. I don't care. It's really fun. It's Fruit Ninja, and it's fun. Next is Paper Dolls. I have a feeling this will be quite rare and collectible at some point because it is a horror game. It is VR. It's kind of obscure. And it's not that great. So you may think that's like got something going against it, but nope. That's probably going to make it very valuable someday. So I just have a feeling Paper Dolls would be one to pick up. Ultra Wings.
Ooh.
Really fun flying sim game. Yeah, it's just kick-ass if you like to fly around. This is really fun. It's got a great art style too. It's kind of like cartoonish, but it actually looks really good. It's fun. Next is Time Carnage.
That looks cool. dinosaurs on the front.
Yeah, you shoot dinosaurs, and I'll be honest, you put explosions and dinosaurs in a game, I'm there. I'm there. That's all you not, you know. Put some waifus in there. You got a triple whammy. Next is Ninja Legends.
I haven't even seen half of these games.
Yeah, these are all European exclusives. A lot of these were in perp games only. And like I said, these are going to be hard to get because they didn't get released anywhere else. So like I had to import like almost all of them. So yeah, this is a ninja game where you fight other ninjas.
Did they release the amount of copies that were available for each game, or is it just a...
I have no idea, sir. I don't know.
Because you'd assume it would be a number in the thousands, right? Not in the tens of thousands.
So you got to take into consideration the overall install base for PSVR, and then how much games they would print that are VR required. So they can't be that many, and only released in one region. So yeah, I mean, like all these things, at the end of the day, I think there's probably not a lot of them.
But then the market would be a lot smaller than a normal game because apart from collectors, you've only got people that own VRs.
Yeah. And, you know, so VR, PSVR, I honestly think it'll be like, like a niche thing to collect in the future. Like I said, kind of like a hipster thing. But you know, this is the first generation of VR, and like the only way to get any of the software preserved was on PSVR. Like there's not PC versions of these games. If you had them on Quest, if you had them on these other platforms, there's just PC versions, and this is the only way to preserve them. So I don't know. I think they'll be really collectible in the future.
No, I agree with you. VR seems to be becoming more and more popular, so people will always go back to the origins of things.
It will be inevitably more popular as the technology progresses and gets better. You mean once your VR headset is like a pair of glasses that just put it in your head that weighs like 2 ounces, you know, that's, you know, once the technology gets lighter and better and better and better, it'll take off. Or, you know, it'll completely get overrun by AR, which is, you know, they could have something that just turn your room into a game. So who knows? Who knows? You never know. Either way, I like this stuff. Next, Unearthing Mars 2.
Nice.
I got the first one in here somewhere. I'll show it to you. The Unearthing Mars 1 got released on a compilation disc with some other games. Next is Syndrome. Another horror game when you're on a spaceship. Pretty cool game. Next is Wanderer. You like time travel in this game and like rewrite history. And this is actually an awesome game. I highly recommend this one. It's kind of newish, but it's really good. This one, I have a feeling will be pretty rare. The Curious Tale of Stolen Pets. One of the last ones I ended up picking up for my collection. I couldn't find really a cheap copy. Getting a new one was pretty hard. And again, only got released in Europe, so I had to import it. So the shipping was brutal. But, you know, it's an interactive, like, childhood tale type game. Cute, fun. Like I said, I bet it'll be rare. Squishies. There it is. I got nothing to say.
I don't think you got to say anything else about that one.
You like squishies? Here it is.
One day, when that's the rarest and most expensive VR model, we'll look back at this video and laugh.
They will. He didn't know what he had. What a fool. There's nothing. Cool Paint VR Deluxe.
That's cool art style. I like the...
Yeah, and you paint. It says you draw in 3D spaces with brushes, primitive shades, tubes, and particles. So, looks interesting. It's an art game. You know, VR is in a weird place when this all started. Like, you know, a lot of like weird ideas for games. That's very creative. That's what I like about VR. People trying to figure out how to use it, how to make games for it, you know. Down the rabbit hole. Basically, you know, like an Alice in Wonderland type
it's
tale.
like this entire video if you think you've got the full VR set.
I told you like 3 times I thought I had the full VR set, and then I'm like, wait, just kidding. I found more, and I found more, and I found more. It's gross.
And even now, you messaged me this week. Can you get me these games from Australia?
Yeah, well, you got it. Well, we're getting to those.
We'll get to them soon.
All right. Next is Honor and Duty All Out War. Looks terrible. It looks terrible. It's an army game, and it looks like gosh, it looks like Army Men 3D on PlayStation 1 graphics. Like, it's like, you know, although I love those games, to be fair. This is another really random weird one. It's Carly and the Reaper Man Escape from the Underworld.
Is it like a mining?
It is a puzzle game. It says find ways to avoid dangers, solve puzzles, and help people trapped in the depths of the underworld. So I believe it's sort of like a platformer puzzle type thing. I'm never going to open it because it's really hard to get.
So don't blame you.
So also, lots of these games go on sale for incredibly dirt cheap digitally. So, like, you really are better off buying them digitally if you want to play them on some of these games. If you want to collect them, that's one thing. But all right, so here is the Ultimate VR Collection. And then there's
got the first one of that Mars game. Yep.
Yep. So Unearthing Mars was only released on this collection, and then the sequel was released as a standalone release, which you saw. But this one also includes Faded, Dext, Bandit 6, Combined Arms, and Corix.
Nice.
All like smaller, short games.
Nice packs though, those completion packs.
Yeah, they're
it's a throwback to like demos from the PS2 or something.
Yeah, and then I mean that's what you should do if you have a little small experience. Instead of trying to sell it for $30, make a little compilation disc. Here's another one. It's called the Zen Studios VR Collection. This one comes with Out of Ammo, Infinite Mini Golf, Epic Quest, Castle Storm, and Pinball FX 2. According to Metal Jesus Rocks, this is the coolest experience ever.
Does it say that on the back?
Yeah. I wonder if he knows that. He's probably like, it does? I didn't say that. Who the hell said
that's actually awesome.
I'm hoping someday Joe Rad says, this game's super cool, dude.
Joe Rad says this is the raddest video game I've ever played.
Speaking of the raddest game, you ever seen this one? No, it's called Mind Labyrinth's VR Dreams. This is actually a really cool game. I actually opened it and played it. It's described as an emotional journey through your alternate world in a dreamlike environment and atmosphere. It's kind of an artsy-fartsy game, but it's gorgeous. So if you want like a cool visual experience, immersive game, it's actually really good. All right, next we have, I don't know how to say that. Jupiter Guard?
Did you name that game?
Yeah. Yes. You want to try?
Jupiter Guard?
Jupiter Guard. I don't know. Definitely.
It might be like a silent Y and you pronounce it like a J or something.
I'm assuming it's Dutch and I'm going to go Jupiter Guard or something. But it's like a travel game where your arms are like you can shoot like kind of like spider webs, like with Spider-Man, and you shoot like webs and you fly around. Yeah, it's a cool game. Yeah. It says it's a plunger-driven cosmonaut. So I guess you shoot plungers for hands. Okay. I don't know what it has to do with Jupiter. I don't know.
I've still got a pile of games here that you haven't shown, Joe. So I'm curious if you've missed anything.
I'm hope so too. I got quite a few left, but I mean we're getting low. Super Hot VR.
No, it's hot.
One of the best games, hands down. Like, I don't know how expensive it would be, but I have a feeling it'll be. It's one of those. I think of it like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's not rare, but everybody wants the damn thing, so it's expensive. This will be like the game that I think. This is like one of the best VR games for sure. So I think it'll be sought after for collectors. It may never be super expensive or whatever, but I do think it'll be one that everybody wants because it's just one of the games that is really good for sure. All right, so this next one's kind of cool. So this is the Binary Mill Collection.
Ooh.
So what this was a special sleeve. And if you pre-ordered these 3 games, you would get the 3 signed editions, I believe, that come with it. And I messaged Perp Games, and I was like, hey, if I buy all 3 of these games and I know you don't have the signed copies, will you give me a sleeve? And they were literally like, we found one in the warehouse. We'll send it to you. And I was like, yes! So I have just the regular versions. I don't have the signed ones, but it's Mini Moto Racing, Rush VR.
That one looks kind of cool.
And Gun Club VR. These are great. All 3 of these games are actually really fun. So Gun Club VR is, you know, you can figure out what it is. Rush is like a flying squirrel suit game where you fly through the air in a squirrel suit and you like, you know, move around, maneuver and stuff. It's a really awesome game. And then Mini Motor Racing is like a Micro Machines racing type thing. So yeah, it came in this cool sleeve.
Awesome sleeve. And
I bet the sleeve is probably worth more than all the games. Now, that being said, they have another sleeve. It's called the Ultimate Servios Collection. I don't have that sleeve. It came with the Steelbook for Walking Dead. It came with Box VR. Gosh. And I think 2 more games. What the heck were they? I don't know.
Put it in the description if you don't know.
We'll put it in there. So it's called the Ultimate Servios VR Collection. And if you want to buy it, there are some I see online, but they're like $200, $250 to get them. So I have all the games. I just want the sleeve. So maybe by some miracle, someday someone will post a sleeve for sale for a reasonable amount of money. I doubt it'll ever happen. But who never knows? You never know. If some nice person's out there and has that sleeve and doesn't care about it. Or, hey, if you're like a normal human being and you think a piece of cardboard is worthless and you would like to make some money, sell it to some stupid person like me who likes to pay a lot of money for cardboard. So, yeah, that's that collection. I'm getting nervous. What do you mean you still have a lot I haven't shown yet? Because I am getting nervous. You better not have a lot.
You better show these games.
You better have a couple. All right. Next is Intruders.
That's one that's getting up there in price.
So this one was a ghost on eBay in the US for a long, long time. Like there were no copies for like months and months and months and months and months. So I have seen a USK release, I believe, and I do believe they may have like different regional versions, but the regular old UK release is definitely the one you want. It's going to be the most sought after, I believe. And yeah, again, you can get it digitally for like $3.99. So if you want to just play this game, that's what I do. But if you want to collect and you want like a rare game, I would get this one because like Figsy said, this is getting to be rare and expensive already, and that's not a good sign.
Unless you own it, that's a great sign.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah. I'm happy. I'm fine with it, but yeah, I'm glad I bought it digitally for $3 too. Never opened it. All right. Super Stardust Ultra VR.
That's one in my pile.
Okay, good. Not super rare, not super collectible, but really good, super fun game. It's a kind of a shmup, and you know how I am with those types of games. I love arcade type things.
Over here, you can get it for under $10, so
yeah,
no brainer.
Yeah, it's kick ass. So if for fun factor, I would get it. Next is Arashi Castle of Sin.
Awesome artwork.
Yeah, really cool game.
Is that Perp Games as well?
Yes, I think it maybe is. I think so.
Whoever done that one 100% did the Darth Vader one for the PAL version. So if that's Perp Games and they did the Darth Vader,
I believe it is.
Because I remember looking at the Darth Vader and looking at that one at the same time on the website.
Yeah, because it says special retail edition, same way as the other one does. So I think you are right. I believe it is. But yeah, it's actually a really good game too. It's like a samurai game. Next is Mask Maker. Another one from Perp, I believe. Don't know much about it.
The market on VR titles, don't they?
They're pretty much the number one retailer for. They have a bunch of cool PSVR 2 stuff up right now for pre-order that you get exclusive Perp Store goodies if you guys are interested, by the way. So I'm not making the same mistake and missing out on all that cool stuff they have. I'm getting all the cool versions for PSVR 2. I'm getting all the good stuff. Although ordering from them is a pain, just so you know. Next, Solaris. Good game. You can use the PS Aim controller with it. Pretty cool. Next is Blind. Pretty cool concept. You're blind and you can only see through like sonic sonar pulses. So you make like pulses and it makes like images pop up like a bat. Hustle Kings VR.
I was surprised this didn't have a North American release.
It didn't. It only PAL as far as I can tell. Or
like of all the games you've showed, Super Stardust and Hustle Kings are the only ones that actually have Australian releases as well. At least I'm aware of.
I there's not a lot of Australian exclusives as far as I know. I don't know if there are any exclusives. So anyway, I've already showed it. That's the PAL version of American Dream. And that's the PAL version of No Man's Sky Beyond, because I tried to buy the ESRB like 3 times and kept getting sent this damn game. So now that I have a nice ESRB one, I have a sealed copy that I'll be selling if anyone's interested on the collectors group. And next I have Raw Data and Sprint Vector.
That's cool.
This was one of the games in the VR Servios collection I couldn't remember the name of, but this is actually one of the ones that came with. These are both pretty fun games. Sprint Vector is awesome. You just like run like super fast. It's like a runner. These are both actually really good games. I'd highly recommend this one. Next is Form and Twilight Path combo. I don't know. I haven't played either of these games. Looks like Twilight Path's like a puzzle game and Form looks like a puzzle game. So it looks like they're both puzzle games. Could be wrong, but that's what they look like to me. Next is Torn. This is also a puzzle game, and I really liked it. It got mixed reviews. Some people don't like it, but I loved it. I thought it was a really good story. I thought the setting was really fun. I thought the controls were really fun. It's not super hard, just fun. I enjoyed it. Arizona Sunshine.
That's one that Australia had released over here.
This is a kick-ass game. Highly recommend it. It's a zombie game. It's a co-op game. You can play with your friends. It's really fun. One of the better games. I think it'll probably be pretty collectible in the future because it is one of the better games. So there's Box VR. I believe that also came in the Servios collection. Like I said, I don't have the ESRB release. I just have the PAL, but this does have an ESRB release as well.
I'm assuming it's pretty hard to find then if you don't have it.
It's not, honestly. I just I have limited resources and money. I can't just buy everything all at once, and it's one of those ones where it is easier to find. So I'm kind of like been putting it off.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean?
I'll get this one really cheap one day.
Yeah, so exactly. I want to get the weird ones that are like harder to get now, and then I'll get that one when it's easy. You know, my last like Minecraft. I'm not worried about Minecraft. Same idea with that one. Well, this is a great game, by the way. It's like a rhythm game, but you box, and it is fantastic. If you actually want a game to work out to and sweat and stuff like that, it is kick ass. Like you literally like your arms will be burning playing this. And then Here They Lie, another horror title. Pretty good game. Highly recommend collecting it because it is horror. Okay. Pretty much all my PAL stuff. The last thing I'll show is, well, first off, I'm missing Crazy Machines VR. That's one of the ones that I have in the mail that just hasn't showed up yet. That's a PAL release. So Crazy Machines VR is another one. And then this is probably like the nicest thing in my collection as far as the games go. This is the Pixel Ripped 1989 Pink Cassette Edition. This was only available for pre-order through the Perp Game Store. And it was like delayed for like forever. It was like one of those manufacturing nightmare things. You have to wait like a year and a half to get this damn thing. It's pretty expensive now. It goes for like probably like $200 to $300. But it is pretty awesome. It does not come sealed, in case you're wondering. I took a Play Asia.
I was going to say it looks like one of those Play Asia wrappers.
And I just put it on this because my Play Asia game is worth $14.99, and this is worth $300. So I put it on this. So just to keep the dust and the mold off and stuff like that. So my copy does have an ESRB game in it. I have seen copies online that do have a PAL release on them. I'm not sure if they literally, like, depending on where you live, sent you a different copy. I'm not sure, but I have seen both versions in case you're curious. It comes with a pink cassette inside of it with a USB flash drive attached to it with the soundtrack on it.
Oh,
that's why it's called the Pink Cassette Edition. And it's a cool game. It's like a throwback game where you like play like old like handheld retro games and stuff like that.
I've got some more PAL games here, Joe.
What you got?
I'm sure you've got this one, Space Junkies.
Oh, you were away when I showed that one. Yeah.
Okay. And then this one I know you don't have.
What you got?
So we have Tekken 7. Now the North American version isn't VR.
Oh, so hold on, let me show you. So where is it? Where is it? Hold on.
Go on, walk about.
So the regular American version does have the VR mode in it, but that's one of the games that does not have the VR logo on it.
Okay. Makes sense.
So the regular just Tekken 7, whether you get the regular version or the collector's edition, first day edition, whatever, it will have the VR mode in it. But none of the US releases say VR on it. The PAL ones do, though. So I did get the Peggy version.
Nice. So on top of this standard one, there is a deluxe edition that says deluxe edition on the spine, and it says it underneath.
And that's that one.
So the Australian one uses this cover. That's interesting.
So this one does.
That would be another variant to the list, I would say. And then Australia got a couple more. So we have this cover variant.
I want these so bad.
So this is the same cover as the Japanese copy.
That's correct. Yep.
So we got it over here as well with the VR label. And then we got an exclusive Steelbook as well, which is really cool.
And that does look awesome. I want both of those bad. And I believe, just so you know, too, Japan got the other cover you just showed, the first one, as a greatest hits as well.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, they call them essential values or greats. I can't remember. It's got that blue whatever on it, but they do have that variant on there, which I probably wouldn't get that. But those two Australian copies, I want those. And honestly, those are such better covers than the other covers. They're really so much better. Like, I love Tekken, by the way. It's like one of my favorite franchises. So I think with the Jin and Hayachi cover, it looks so sick. What else you got? Anything else?
I've just got one Chinese English game left. So,
well, I can.
And then the games without labels on the spines.
Okay.
Sorry, labels on the front cover.
All right, so I do have some more that have English. So now moving into these are like Asian games that have English on them, and they have the VR thing. So first is Homestar VR.
That looks cool. Is that like a space star type thing?
It is
observatories,
planetarium. It is a home planetarium. So basically, you sit around and you stare at constellations, and it teaches you about constellations.
That's cool though, because you can't do that anymore in cities because of the lights. You got to go out to the country to do that.
Yeah, and this is all in VR, and it looks cool. It's I have a feeling it'll be rare. Doesn't seem like it's going to be everybody's cup of tea. So, definitely cool. All right, so these next ones, I can't say I'm proud that I own these.
Oh, this might be me coming up.
But
I'm proud to own this one.
But
we'll show it at the same time, Joe. On for
okay, all right, here we go. Ready? One, two, three. Well, I got the other one too. So
I'm proud to own this because it was expensive, and I got it when it dropped in price.
So these are games where you hang out with your virtual friends, and you have summer lessons, and you put on outfits. And it looks like you can do some singing. I don't know. My girlfriend won't allow me to open them, so I don't know what's actually going on.
We'll have to ask Will how those ones work.
Yes. So these are not any better. So So Dead or Alive 3.
That's expensive now. Or is it the English version that's expensive?
They're expensive, like both versions. So there's the cover variant as well. So there is Fortune and Scarlet. They are the same game, but I believe they come with like different cosmetic DLCs and stuff like that. In case you're wondering,
for outfits isn't the idea to take the outfits off?
Yeah, I mean, if you're wondering what type of game this is, I mean, just look at this scene right here. What is going on? She didn't even have a head, bro. It's shameful. And literally, as far as I know, there's like an actual like dance mode where they like dance for you and stuff.
Oh my god.
I've been told. I personally have not experienced such debauchery. I would never.
Can't believe I had to put these in the collection for the full set.
I know. I'm just appalled. Anyway. And then the last thing I want to show is that I have is there are these games that they don't have English, but they're just these little baseball games from Japan.
Yeah. I've got them on PS3. The big heads. And
even if you do not speak Japanese, they're pretty easy to figure out. So I am going to pick up, there's 3 of them. There's a 2018, there's a 2020, and a 2022. The 2018 and 2020 are super cheap. 2022 just came out, so that was still kind of expensive. So I think it'll get cheaper. I'm probably going to wait a little while.
That's interesting, because on PS3, they used to put out a release every year. So they're down to one every 2 years now.
Yeah. And so this is the part of my collecting where there are a few other games that are in Japanese only that I don't have. And so, you know, if you guys want to list them, I know what they are, but most of them are awful, but I'm going to pick them up anyway. There's like one that's like, you're like a hotel manager and it is just delightful. So that's all the ones so far. Now, the last section I have is games that don't have the banner on them that were released that have VR modes. Oh, there's my Tekken 7, of course. Oh, I forgot an Asian game too. Got a couple Asian games. Sorry, there's a couple more Asian games first. All right, so first is Transference. So this is like a horror psychological thriller game. So I think that'll make it kind of collectible. Don't mind the Sharpie all over it.
They made it cheaper for you.
$2. So this is the Asian, English, Chinese release. It also does have a Korean release, which I believe has English as well. So I think you can get either one. It has a Japanese release. I'm not sure if it has English. It might. But if you definitely want English, the Chinese version definitely is English. And then the Korean one, I believe, does as well. But yeah, didn't get a release. It's a horror game. And I think that'll make it very collectible down the line. Also, Alt Deus Beyond Chronos. You ever heard of this? No. It's like another visual novel type game. Does have English, and it also got like a collector's edition release in Japan if you want it, and it's actually really cheap. It's like $40. So there is a collector's edition that's pretty affordable. And I almost forgot to show this, which is funny because it's one of the most valuable, most collectible games in the entire collection. So there is No More Heroes Allowed VR. It didn't get a Western release. The only English releases there are, I believe, from China. And there's two versions. There is the regular Chinese release version where the text is in Chinese, but it has English, which is a little cheaper. And then this version that actually has the title in English and has an English spine is much rarer and is much more expensive. So like I see listings right now for this version going for like 100 to 150 already. So if you want the cool one, keep an eye out on it. You never know. Somebody may just put one up there and not realize the difference. And you got to pounce on it. It does happen. Keep those eBay listing checkers going all the time.
You're right, though. That definitely does happen. I've seen people get Aquanauts Holiday for $50 with the seller thinking it's a cheap version where it's really the English version.
Yep, that's the thing. They don't know the difference. So I got my copy of Crystar. I got the English Crystar sealed American release for $40. And this was like recently. And the thing sells for like $100, $150 sealed. And that's because the PAL version is $40.
Yep.
And the person was like, looked it up. It's like, oh, $40. Put it up there. And I bought it in seconds. It was just like, couldn't buy it fast enough. So, you got to wait. You never know. All right. So the last group of games are games that have like modes in them with no tag on them. So the first is the Sega Genesis Classics Collection. You can, like, at the beginning when you select your games, you're like in a room from the 90s, and you can like be in that room and play your games on it, like a CRTV. So it's like you're in a room in the 90s playing your Genesis on old CRTV.
I like that touch to it.
Yeah, it's neat. Nothing mind-blowing, but it is.
I was going to say, it wouldn't really make sense to add VR mode to 90s games, You
put it in Sonic the Hedgehog so you vomit everywhere. Right. So next, I think you have this one. The Tomb Raider.
I got two of these.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, there's multiple versions.
Got the sleeve version and then the standard release as well.
Yep. And I believe they both have VR support. You can go either one.
Yeah, it'll say on the back, it says includes VR support.
Yep. I just think this one was cooler looking. It's like not that expensive. Comes with like a cool book.
Fortunately, it's really delicate, so I always find them damaged in the wild. It took me a while to actually pick one up because it was always in bad condition.
Yeah, sleeves in general are tough to find in good shape, for sure. All right, so I got another one that I'm not that proud of. So, Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. This is the all no shirt, no shoes, all service edition. Oh yeah. So this game you run around as a waifu and you squirt other waifus with super soakers. And if
Of course,
you
they had to add VR mode to that.
Yeah, they did. So is what it is. Funny story about this. I ordered this, right? And guy never shipped it. And I sent them messages for like 3 weeks. And I was like, all right, I'm canceling the order. So I put in a refund request. And he uploaded a tracking number 5 minutes before eBay refunded me. And I went, huh. I wonder.
3 weeks to ship a game. He doesn't deserve the money. Sorry.
And like literally like, 6 weeks go by. And I now own 2 of these because I ended up buying it from somebody else because I didn't realize.
It is what it is.
So now I look like a real creep because now I have 2. I have 2 Senran.
One sealed, one open to play.
Well, that's what's cute about it. The first one I got, the box was in terrible condition, but it had a sealed copy, and the other one, the box was in great condition and an open copy. So now I have one nice one. Yeah, and I'll just sell the other one to some other depraved individual who wants it. All right, so next is my favorite. Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. And
now is that different to the limited run version or is it the same game?
Totally different game. So the limited run one is a VR game where you play in VR. This is just a regular rhythm game, and it has a VR mode where you can watch the shows. So like
that's Project Diva X from PS3, same title.
Yes, it's exactly. So you can watch her perform in VR, but you can't play the game in VR. That's all it has for a mode. But I don't care. Game's awesome.
Makes sense why you wouldn't include the VR on the print if that's the case, though.
Yeah,
same with the Sega collection as well.
Yep. So there's the American release for Trackmania Turbo. It does have the VR support, just doesn't have the tag. And
is that because it came out prior to VR? I recall that being a really early release.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of those games were games that got released and then they had a VR mode added at a later date.
And it might have got reprinted or something.
Yeah, and so then like maybe the PAL version got released afterwards, and so they put the VR mode on the disc and put it on there. But the American version was just a download you added after. So same thing with like the Tekken release. I have a feeling that's what happened on most of them.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Whatever. I would love consistency, but it is what it is.
We're collectors. There's no such thing.
Like I said, like when you try to put all these on the shelf, you'll see with all the little, there's no way to do it without driving yourself mad. There's no way to do it without making yourself go crazy. Unless you buy like multiple versions or something. I don't know. So the next one is Dreams VR. Nice.
Same cover?
So, no.
Yes?
No.
Well, we got the sticker on the front.
Your colors are a little different than mine.
Yeah, they're more vibrant in this one. The Dreams looks bigger too.
And you got like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it does look different. I mean, it's quite similar, but it definitely looks different to me. So, this is a game that's a million type of games. You can make your own games basically, and there's a VR support. So some people make VR games. Like I'm pretty sure someone made like Silent Hill PT
Cool.
They remade it in Dreams, and not perfectly, but I'm pretty sure that the VR sport. All right, so the last game that I want to talk about is this SOB. And that is Dirt Rally.
So this, before we start, this version here hasn't got VR support that I've got.
So the American copy and that copy don't come with a VR mode included. What you were supposed to be able to do is buy the game and then go onto the store and purchase the VR mode, download it, and play it. As far as I can tell, it is broken, and you cannot install the VR mode. So if you download it and try to install it, it just takes you to a page in the PlayStation Store with a description with no place to download it, no button to purchase it. There's no way to actually get it. Now, as far as I understand, and this is based on my own research, if someone knows more than me, I'd be happy to learn more. But there is a PAL version, a UK release, and a USK release, German version, that came with a download code included in the package. And if you can still find it with a valid code, I am told that that code still works if you enter it, and it will allow you to download the VR. But I believe that is the only way currently that you can get it. So if you had this game like a long time ago before it was broken and you installed the VR, it should still work. But the only way I think you can currently play this stupid game in VR is if you find that version. And I've been looking for quite some time, and I never see them on eBay. And the last one I saw sold for like 120 euros. So I don't know if it's really rare. I don't know if it's just the timing, because I'm just looking now and there just doesn't happen to be any. Maybe there's like 50 that'll pop up over the next 6 months.
Maybe they just don't ship to America and you've missed them. Who knows?
I'm not sure, but that is one of the ones I don't have that I am still quite actively after, is the Dirt Rally UK release specifically. I don't want the USK one or the German one. Although maybe I will eventually get it. I don't know, but just to satisfy it. But
I mean, just to see if it works would be cool, you know.
Correct. I just want to see if it works. And like, I literally like
borderlining the lost media type thing at this point.
I was tweeting at Codemasters like, hey, what's up with your PSVR game? What's going on here? And then nothing. They didn't say nothing. No response.
You're like, yeah, we're doing Dirt 4. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, bro, we're so not touching that. You think we're spending a dime on that? I just, whatever it is, I would love for them to fix it. So it would be cool because, from what I'm told, it's awesome. I've heard that the VR mode for this game is really good. And
that makes you want to get it even more.
Yeah, like it, you know, I like VR karts. I like Driveclub. I like Gran Turismo 7 on PSVR 2 is woo. I mean, the games in VR, the driving games are awesome. So it bums me out because it's probably one of the best games you can get on VR. It's not working right now.
Well, guys, if you've made it this far, we're over 2 hours. This has been every single physical game, vanilla, all variants for the PlayStation VR that's currently available as of the 25th of February 2023. If we have missed anything, please let us know in the comments. There is most likely stuff out there that Joe does not know about, I do not know about, that you guys might know about. We're only going to hear about that if people let us know. We will update the list and try to keep this list as accurate as possible. Thanks so much for coming on, Joe, and sharing all this information with everyone. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And look forward to showing you guys some more stuff in another video
you
sometime.
Guys see more of Joe. He'll be back on the podcast soon, so stay tuned for that. In particular, Joe will be on for episode number 50. It will be a special 4-hour show, so stay tuned for that. I've been Figsy. This has been Joe, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Later, everybody.